What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Titans Return, Autobot Topspin, and Freeze Out. For the package, you got a really cool image of Freeze Out on the back, kind of detaching from Topspin, as well as the Transformers text along the side and Generations logo. And then you have an open window that fully showcases a figure, as well as all of his accessories. Here in the back, we got images of other Titans Return figures, as well as images of both Topspin's vehicle as well as his robot form. And it says, with the Decepticons rising, the Autobots power up with Titan Master partners to stop them. Freeze Out gives Autobot Topspin the ability to target and deactivate the conversion cog of other bots, freezing enemies in whatever mode they're in. Which actually, that sounds like a pretty cool power. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Topspin open up and out of its packaging. And much like all Titans Return figures, he does come with this collector card. You got that really cool image of him there on the front. On the back of it, you have his various tech specs and how Freeze Out actually expands his powers and abilities. And starting off with Freeze Out, it's a little bit tricky to get to him, to be totally honest. You got a little lip right here that you can use to wedge the cockpit open, and pretty decent looking. Again, very lacking in terms of paint detail. It's just a blue and white molded figure. It's not bad for what it is. I mean, there's a lot of nice, good sculpted detail, but you're just really lacking a lot of paint detail. I do love the face on him, though. I mean, coming in to take a closer look at it, I mean, I really love that look. You can see you got some nice silver for his face. You got some yellow there at the top. I love the little reflective blue color that they use for his eyes. That's really neat looking. Overall, pretty happy with how the actual head looks. It's just the body itself is pretty boring, to be totally honest. But here you have Topspin, and closing that back up, this is a really cool figure. A lot of people are looking at this as probably the best in the line, and I definitely think that it is a very strong figure. I don't necessarily know if I would say it's the best, but a lot of the stuff that, especially here in the front section that they utilize for the engineering, really is quite impressive. The back leg section really doesn't impress me all that much. It just basically collapses in on itself, but what they make up for the lack of creativity in the back, they really make up for here in the front. But you can see you got Topspin. I do not know if we're going to get a twin twist. I mean, I can't imagine why we wouldn't. I mean, it'd be pretty simple to kind of do it. I mean, Topspin was the little jet, obviously, as you can see, in Twin Twist, which was his twin brother, was a tank with like some drill bits. So I could see them remolding some of this and giving us a Twin Twist. I don't know if we're ever going to get it, but who knows. But some really nice paint detail on here. I'm really liking what they did. You got some nice black and copper color right up here, kind of accenting things. You got some nice silver and red on the wings. You got that really nice Autobot logo. I like how the actual background on it is done in a silver color as well. And then you got some nice silver for the front section, a little bit of blue paint right there. Obviously, you got his weapons underneath here that are silver. You get some more color in his robot mode, but basically you get the gist of it. I maybe would have liked a little extra paint detail in the thrusters, but I love that look. That's really very neat. You can remove these weapons. They just peg here on the bottom, and like with all of them, you can actually put it together. It's kind of weird how it's like on an angle like this. I don't really know what you can do with that. Let me see. Is there anywhere that you can really stick this? I guess you could do something like that. I mean, you can plug these here on the side just when they're individual, but it really doesn't do too much. Obviously, you can take Freeze Out here. You can straighten him. And then this is where things get a little bit weird, because it's like that's the bottom, and then you have him sit here. And that's kind of meh, I guess. I mean, and it doesn't really sit in there very well, to be honest with you. I mean, you got little tabs right here that kind of fit on the back, so it's like you push that in, but it's not really doing anything. I mean, he just really just rests there. You flip, he doesn't have a seatbelt, so but you got the little holes here in the back that lock in with the little tabs right here, and then you got that section right there. So that's not really very fun. But overall, I really do like the way that this guy looks. You got a nice little included landing gear here. Nothing really on the back other than these little kind of ridges that kind of stick out. But really, I do like him. I think that he's really nice. Like I said, I just, in some of the aspects, I'm a little bit man, specifically here in the back, it just really isn't all that inspiring. The front section is fantastic. So to transform them, first you just come around here, wedge this. This is going to mushroom peg together, so you just do that, and then you just pull these out. So like I was saying, not really too much going on with these legs. So get that, bring that all the way down, and then you just, let me see if I can get it on a way that you can see it. There's a little on the inside here. Here we go. Okay, you can kind of see like this little tab section right on the top of this piece. That's what locks in there. So you just friction that in, make sure you push that, and then you close this. Oh, I'm sorry. Fold out the little foot, and then you close this around like so. Do that on this side as well. So make sure that that's all the way collapsed up. There we go. You can bring this little piece out. You're actually supposed to have these folded out as like a little knee thing. Bring out his foot like so. Collapse that in. So again, really not too much to the actual legs. But these arms, I mean, everything else is really cool here. So then you bring these out, and then this section here lifts up. This whole bottom section accordions out, which is neat, and then the fists fold out, and now you have his arms. So that's really cool how that collapses. I really dig that. Again, that's really neat engineering. So fold that out on that side, fold out his little hand, fold this section down just like so. Take this entire bit, you can then detach this. Oh well, here. Bring this back, fold this back, and let's see, there we go. Get that back like so, and then you spin this whole section around, bring this down. This will tab in right down like so, and then you want to rotate his waist around right there. Bring these arms, straighten that out like so. Again, make sure that that's all collapsed up there. There we go. Okay. And you can do whatever you really want with these arms. Set them out there. Not as arms, these little wing kind of things. You can fold them forward. You can bring them back a little bit, but basically that's what you have for them. Then obviously you take Freeze out, rotate him around, make sure his head's fairly straight, and then you peg that in. It's very stiff on this one. Let's see. And when I do it, it wants to rotate around. So there we go. Get that locked in there. And there you have Twin Twist in his robot mode. But really a very nice looking figure. Now, Twin Twist and obviously Topspin here were never really figures that I had as a kid. I remember them. I think that my friend had them. I played with them every now and then. They were the ones where you could like wind them and then they would flip and auto transform. Yeah, they were never anything I really cared too much about. So I don't really have much of an attachment per se to this character. But in terms of the toy, I'm really very impressed with it. One thing that I'm noticing is just how bulky he is. For a comparison, now obviously the Trigger Happy is a little bit spindly just by itself, but I mean, you can see just how bulky he gets. I mean, he's thick. I mean, there's a lot to him. I'm really impressed with that overall size on him. He's just massive. Obviously, like you can see, you can split his weapons up and you can have him hold them. You get a lot more of that color here. I mean, you could see this before, but you got some nice silver paint with some red underneath here. I mean, that's the bottom of the wing, obviously, but now it's the front of them. You got some of that copper color coming through again. I kind of wish that maybe there was some silver thrown on his chest, but some real nice molded detail throughout the entire thing. Like even when you look on the side here, nice molded detail. The thighs have some nice molding. You got some blue paint along the sides right here. You got that little red section right there, which always confuses me because I look to that as being the Autobot logo, not there. And then I'm like, oh, that's not the Autobot logo, that is. You got a little bit extra of this white color that comes down here for his actual feet. And again, really clean looking. I mean, it compresses very, very nicely here. And there's not a lot of robot junk hanging off. So I'm very happy with how this guy turned out. Again, and I have really zero attachment to the character. And I really do like the toy. First articulation, the head does just basically rotate. You can get it moving. Like I said, it bobbles a little bit, but it's not really kind of part of the articulation per se. As part of the transformation, you do have this hinge section right here, and then the lower section of the arm is on a ball joint, so you get a nice full range of motion with that. The upper part of the arm does have a rotation. He's got two joints here at the elbow, which is really nice for some really deep curls. I really dig that. He does rotate rotate at the waist, which is nice. Hips move forward and back on ball joints. They also move in and out. He rotates at the thigh. And then he's got, I mean, the knee, I would probably say you want to be careful with. I mean, he does primarily only have one joint, but you can actually separate it from that little tab and get basically a double joint with it, but it's not really intended to be that. I mean, when you separate it, it just creates a giant gap right there, but it looks a lot better when you leave it like so. And then I guess you could say that the feet kind of can move in and out, but it then pushes this back because that whole back section here then forces the leg out. So lots of articulation in the figure. I really am very impressed with it. A lot of people, like I said, are very giddy about this and basically saying that this is the best figure in this wave. I think I said the line before, but this is definitely a very strong figure. I don't necessarily think it is the best in the line. If I were to pick my personal favorite, I don't know. I mean, he is pretty good. I do think, though, just for uniqueness, Cup and Perceptor do have a little bit better of that going for him, mostly just because these legs really aren't all that inspiring. They just basically collapse. Everything else is great, but I can't say that he's the best figure because half of them is really good. I mean, the whole top section would have to be stupid good. And I don't think it's that great to make me ignore the bottom section. Now, to transform it back, obviously, we're just going to pop off the head, sit that right there. Come around to the back section. You can fold this up, get this out of the way, and then separate this torso bit right here. Then rotate that around. I guess you could rotate his waist section around as well. So spin both of those things around, fold this all the way out, and then bring that down like that. Collapse this section in right there. Come down to these arms. You then open up the flap, fold this in, collapse the forearm in on itself. I mean, that is really cool. I do really like that. And then you got a notch section here that you slide this forward and this will friction into place right there. So again, do that on this side, fold that in, collapse this section down, bring that down, fold this up, lock that into place, come down here to the feet. You then take these, split these open, and then you can take the whole back section or the foot and then rotate that around, and then this just accordions up and then basically just sits right there. So again, then do that side, rotate this, you can push this down, accordion this up, and then you bring the two halves together. The mushroom peg here, I mean, you can hear it's fairly loud, and it does kind of make me nervous because you're really forcing it to lock that in. I do appreciate the strength of that tab, but over time, I do get worried that it may round it out and make it a little bit weaker. You come around here, you got these little notches here in the bottom that you then line up underneath here, peg that in there, do that on this side as well. There we go. And then you can again take this, you can lift this up. Okay, come on, fingernail, like a fingernail. There we go. And you got the little notch section right here that the little tab on the back of his leg grooves into. So you just bring this up. Oh, one thing that I should mention is that if you do not move these arms forward a little, you won't be able to get them actually to sit in here. So you have to put that in there, and then you put the arms down, and then you can close it. If you don't, and I'm just going to pull this out because it's going to be too difficult to actually sit there and play with it. If you leave the arms down along his side, when you put that there and lock that in, it won't push all the way down. You have to be able to get this all the way back to be able to do it, and you can only really do that if you have the arms forward. It just creates extra space. So getting that, whatever. You get the idea. But when you're done, there you have Topspin back in his vehicle mode. Really fun toy, though. I mean, as I said, the back leg section really isn't all that inspiring, but everything else on him is really very nice. The vehicle mode here absolutely nails the look for Topspin. Obviously, they're not going to be able to put that same gimmick that the original G1 toy had, but they created his look, and I really dig it. The transformation, I mean, I'm sounding as if I'm not liking the transformation, but I really actually do. What they're doing here at the front section is really cool, especially how they do the arms. I think that is brilliant. And then Robot Mode just comes together and again looks like Topspin. While I don't necessarily think like a lot of people think that he is the best in this wave, he is a very, very strong figure. And obviously now since we've looked at 3 of the deluxes and the other 2 are just repaints, Topspin here gets marked because of being unique. But I think he's just going up against some other really strong figures. But I still absolutely love him and I could not recommend this guy enough to you. So all that being said, Topspin here as well as the rest of Wave 4 will be hitting various retail locations fairly soon. So if you're looking for them, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, there's Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy as well as the rest of their wide range of Transformers Titans Return figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please smash that thumbs up button. It goes a long way towards helping me out, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you never miss out on a future review of mine. Or if you're already subscribed, be sure to click on that little bell right below this video, and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.